Welcome everyone to EliteGuitarist.com. My name is Ines Thome and today we are going to work on a study by Matteo Carcassi. He's an Italian composer and we are going to work on the study number 7 of his Opus 60 studies. I will be playing a wonderful guitar by Germán Vázquez Rubio, a Los Angeles guitar maker. And you can check this guitar out. I borrowed it from GSI, Guitar Salon International, and if you're interested in it, please check out the link below and enjoy. Thank you. So we are going to jump right in. This study is mainly a study for the right hand. It's an arpeggio study and it's a preparation for tremolo. It's a tremolo practice, but also other arpeggios will come up. So you have to be quite flexible with your right hand, and we are just going to work on that. What I encourage you to do, which is always a good idea, but in this case really crucial, is just practice the right hand by itself. It makes a lot of sense to do that. It will free you up. You don't have to think about all the notes you have to play. You just think about the strings you have to pluck, and then once your right hand is ready, you can take the left hand with it, and it's going to be a lot easier and also going to be a lot faster. So let's just start with the first line, the first two measures. And we're starting with the tremolo pattern. So the tremolo pattern, for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, it's you start with the thumb, plucking in this case the 5th string, and then the ring finger follows A, then middle finger M, index I. So tremolo means P-A-M-I in the classical sense. There's a flamenco tremolo, which is a little different, so if you know that, that's not what we need here, though this is great to know as well. So we start with the classical tremolo, P-A-M-I. This is our first pattern, and this is all we need for the first measure. So it's 5, 3, 3, 3, and again. Then the thumb moves to the 4th string. The second measure, the pattern changes. Now we need the strings 4, 3, and 1, and I'm using P, I, A, I. You can use a middle finger. It's really up to you. Though if you use P, I, A, then the fingers just all are distributed over the strings. So the first finger, the I finger, is responsible for the 3rd string, middle finger for the 2nd string, and ring finger for the 1st string. So you have the full plan kind of ready to go. I like that. That's why I use the ring finger, but if you feel just faster maybe or more comfortable with the middle finger, that's fine too. So the second measure in the right hand would be P, I, A, and then I. And then the middle part, the arpeggio switches to the middle finger actually, because we need the 2nd string now. So the idea that really the first 3 strings are just each taken by one finger really works well in this piece here. So then we go P, I, M, I. And then we repeat that. So now I'm just going to play the right hand by itself for the first 2 measures so that you hear how it's going to sound. So this is fairly simple right now, though there is a lot we can already work on. Even though we haven't even looked at the left hand yet, we are just working on the right hand, like a little bit as a warm-up. So in the tremolo portion, so in the first measure, make sure that all the notes are even and they all have a similar sound, especially the 3 notes on the 3rd string. So make sure they don't all sound different, maybe file your nails a little bit. If they are all different, really check out is the form of the fingernails right, are they polished and all this. Then also important, they should also have the same volume. So not just the tone color, but also the same volume. So you can really spend some time just with this first measure. If you're just warming up, it's a good idea to prepare the fingers a little bit and really dig in the strings. So really prepare with some pressure. So the first measure again. So really feel the string before you play it. So you just heard the guitar actually buzzed a little bit. So the action on my guitar usually plays a little higher, so I have to adjust a little bit. So you just heard some practicing going on. So I'm gonna practice right with you here. So let's do that again. So I have a little bit less pressure so that we don't hear the buzzing. You might have a different problem at home. Maybe you need to work on the evenness or the tone color. So the second measure, I just continue. And so on. You can keep going, you can keep doing that with the second line and so on. All the measures, essentially you can play the whole piece just with the right hand by itself, and this will be very beneficial, it will be a good thing to do. It's probably not a good idea to start by just learning the right hand, because you want to hear the piece, you're excited about the piece, you want to hear the music, of course. That's important. But just, keep it in mind that it's a good idea to just practice the right hand. So if you just jump in now with the left hand, the piece is in A minor, so we start with this. We just start on A and second finger on A. Now the third finger goes on C, fifth string. Pinky on the F right underneath. And then E, first finger. Now while I pluck the open string here, I move my hand, I shift it back a little bit, because now instead of the second finger on the A, I use the third finger on the A. This just helps me getting to the rest of the chords in the second measure. So we need this A with the third finger and then the F with the first finger. Next note is C. I reach that with my pinky. Release the first finger, E. Now I move to essentially an E7 chord starting on B here. So I have a B, a G sharp, and a D. And then back to A and C. Again, I'm using my third finger. This helps me if I come from this shape here. I can already prepare my third finger. So following this fingering in the left hand will really help you get to every chord smoothly without shifting too much, without having any interruption between the chords, because we want it to be all in one line and we want it sounded very even and very connected. And so that fingering really works. It might be a little harder to read in the beginning because you would, of course, want to play the A with the second finger here, but it really works well if you just follow the fingering in the left hand. So let's do that again, just the first two measures. Now C, third finger, F, and E with the first finger. I'm shifting back on the third finger, pinky for C, second finger already ready, and now my third finger gets ready for the A. Now we are in measure 3, just moving on. The pattern in the right hand is still P-I-M-I here. So the same what we just finished with. It's the same pattern, just we are moving to the 4th string. So my A is still covered by the 3rd finger here, so you just leave it from measure 2 to measure 3, the 3rd finger stays on the string. Now the D sharp goes on the 1st fret. 2nd finger goes on the 2nd fret, all on the 4th string, and pinky on F. And then measure 4 is an A minor chord shape, but we are plucking the strings 4, 3, and 2, so still the same pattern. Now all that moves is the thumb, so you can leave the chord shape down and pluck the 6th string in the thumb. Now you release the 1st finger and pluck the 4th string again, so E, A, B, and then all we need here for measure 4, the last beat, is a G sharp, and then the thumb goes back on the 6th string. And we need the ring finger here for the high E. And again, use the middle finger if you're more comfortable with that. If you use the ring finger, it's actually great practice because a lot of times the ring finger is the one who has a little slightly different sound. So we really have to match the sound between the middle and the index finger and the ring finger. And one difficulty which is added is that the high E string a lot of times wants to be a little bit more like pop out and is more bright than the other strings. So we really need to work on the ring finger having a warm sound which really matches the other fingers. So since this is a study for the right hand, really, I think you should use the ring finger. If you have any problems with the ring finger sound, use it as an opportunity to really work on that. So let's go over the 4th measure again. We're starting with the A minor chord shape, P-I-M-I. Release the 1st finger. 1st finger goes on G sharp, and the ring finger plucks the 1st string. So in measure 5 and measure 6, it's just a repeat of what has happened before, and then even going on, it's almost a repeat. So we say our first phrase was 4 measures long, so I'm just going to repeat the first 4 measures for you now. Okay, make some crescendo here. For the bass, we have a chromatic movement in the bass. Now measure 5, and this is all repeat. So I play very slowly, but it's really all just one-to-one repeat. Something else starts. It's still, all we need is a G sharp here, so it's still this E chord, E major chord, and the pattern in the right hand is different now. So instead of P-I-A-I, what we had in measure 4, in measure 8 here, measure 7, we have P-I-M-A. So now it's the first time that we actually get to use this like full plan. We keep on working. So now there it is, P-I-M-A, our standard pattern. And then measure 8, we need an A and a C, again the same pattern, P, just on the 5th string, and I, M, A. Now we have a little slur, just a little pull off from the F to the E. And then a D sharp. So you move up a little bit. So just a short little shift in the 2nd position, and then D sharp, E, and then A. And you can play that A with the ring finger, with the middle finger, with the index finger, however you land on it. So what I do in the right hand is I play the whole measure 8 would be P, I, M, A. Now I play M, and then I, M, and then A. And then we have a rest. So this is the first part of the piece. I will now go over it and just add some dynamics, so really add some volume to make it more interesting, and you really to bring out those interesting harmonies because they are quite nice. And if you just play it all in one thing, it's just not nearly as nice as what we can do with it. So if you're already a little familiar with it, maybe already watching this the 2nd time, then you can just play with me. I'm just gonna talk a little bit while I'm playing. So let's start in the good mezzo forte. And a little louder here. Now go for the thumb. Listen for the thumb. And relax. And now the repeat, it would be nice if we did something different. So let's just start really loud here. A little more attack.